Hey everyone, welcome back to Little Racing. On today's video for the Project Golf Cart, we're going to be going ahead and starting on the installation of the headlight and taillight kit. And before we jump over to the cart, I just wanted to show you the kit. I have everything laid out here, and I wanted to go over the components, everything that comes with it, and then the tools that you're going to need to do the installation of this kit. As far as the kit goes, like I said, it's a complete kit. You're going to have your LED headlights, LED tail lights. Your headlights do have side marker lights, which this has an upgrade that you can do turn signals on this. So it's going to come with the side marker lights pre-installed on here, and then you add the turn signal kit and you're ready to go. But you've got your LED headlights, tail lights, you've got your complete harness, which is all plug and play, and the plug ends are color coded. So if you look here, you have a red end, white end, white, and so on and so forth. So everything is plug and play, and everything's done for you. It's wire loomed, taped. It's got the switches included, which I'm going to use a different switch, but this does come with a pre-installed switch. Your battery connections. It comes with the required templates to do the cutouts on the body. This is your rear template for the tail lights, and these are nice. It's all cut out and everything like that. You put it on one way for one side, you flip it over, and then that's how you do the other side. But it comes with that. Also comes with some zip ties and some fastening screws. So this kit is 100% complete, ready to go for you to install. You don't need to go out and buy anything else for this kit. It's 100% ready. I can't say enough nice things or enough positive things about this kit. High quality impact plastic, just a great kit, and it's LED, like I've mentioned a few times, extremely bright and doesn't use a lot of power compared to some of the other kits out there that are knockoffs of this kit. These are bulbs, they're not LEDs. So not as bright, use up a ton of power, drain your battery real quick. So this is a great kit, and I will include the link down below within the description of this video for where you can buy this kit. So that's the kit, and that's all the parts for the kit. As far as for tools, you're going to need a couple things, and that's literally it. You're gonna need the template, obviously. To mount the template onto the body, I highly recommend using this painter's tape or body tape. And this tape is really nice because it goes on real easy, comes off real easy, doesn't leave any kind of residue or anything like that. When you pull this off, you're good to go. But you're going to need the tape. And then as far as for the only other thing, you have a few options for once you do your outline to cut. But what I would recommend is this is made by Rotozip. This is a spiral saw. It's basically like a big Dremel, and it has a special bit in there that you can use to cut through wood and everything like that. This will do what's called a plunge cut. So you kind of put this onto the body, and then it'll drill a hole, and then you can do the pattern that you need to cut out. But you could use that. You could use a jigsaw. You could use a Dremel. I mean, you have a lot of options. You could probably, if you really had to, this is plastic, you could probably cut through it with a really sharp utility knife. Just a little hand saw, I mean, anything, but this is what I have, and this is what I'm going to use. So that's the kit, the tools, and now let's go ahead and move over to the cart. And we're going to do the front end first. What I'm going to do on this is I'm going to trace, and I'm going to cut, and I'm going to install the headlights and tail lights. Then I'm going to do the harness last. Some people might want to do the harness first, but I would rather do the harness last. That way I can go and take my time, properly secure it to the underbody like I have all the other things as far as for the stereo, the speakers, and I did the battery charge indicator. And on those, if you've looked at my other videos, you'll see that I took the time and took okay, let's start that over. Took my time and used attention to detail, and I made sure that everything was fastened and zip tied properly and routed where it couldn't get snagged or ripped off. So, you know, a little bit of preparation goes a long way with any type of installation. So, moving on, let's look at the template, the front template. I've went ahead and I already installed this onto the cart. And the templates are already, they're cut and everything like that. So this is designed to follow the curves of the body of the cart. You know, lay it on there, kind of get everything lined up. You're going to want to make sure, and like I said, use some tape. You can use this. You could use electrical tape, but I really like this body tape or painter's tape. It's real cheap. You can get it anywhere: Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, Harbor Freight, any hardware store. I mean, it's Walmart even carries it. So I mean, you can get it anywhere. A roll of it's going to cost you less than $5. And this is great for this. This is also great if you do any kind of painting or anything like that. If you want to mask off something, this stuff works great for that. So it has multiple uses and applications of different things. So if you're a hobbyist and you're doing this type of stuff, where you're doing different things and you're working on your side-by-side or your hot rod or your golf cart or whatever it may be that you're working on, it's something that you're not going to buy just this one time and it's going to sit or go to waste. So you'll be able to use it for a lot of things. But what I did was I went ahead and I lined this up, got it where I wanted it, and I started at the top and I kind of pulled this tight. Get your tape on there, get it on there. Take your time and go around with your, I used a Sharpie because it's going to get cut out, it doesn't matter. And the light will extend over this, so you're not going to see any of that. But I wanted a good light that, or a good mark that if I touched it, it wouldn't rub off. So I went with a black Sharpie and put it on there, do your trace out. And then once that's been done, if you look over here, this is with it off. Got a nice line, easy to identify where you need to cut. Now on this kit, you're going to want to cut this line off. And when I say that, what I mean is you're going to plunge cut into this, and then you're going to make sure that you cut this line, remove all this. You don't want to cut inside the line, you don't want to cut outside the line and make it too big. You want to cut on the line. That's important because you don't want the light to be in there real sloppy, and you don't want to have any weak areas or spots where you don't get a good coverage with the light and potentially have it to where it could pop off or crack or split or whatever. So you're going to want to go ahead and make sure you cut that line off, not on the outside, not on the inside, on the line. I'm going to do the front lights first, and then we'll move on to the back lights. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get the tool set up, and then we'll start cutting. Alright, so I went ahead and I got the RotoZip hooked up, and I cut out the first headlight, and everything went fine. No issues. One thing I did do, or I would recommend for anybody that's doing this kit, is another tool that you could use would be, I got a little angle grinder with a sanding disc on it. As you can see, and when you're cutting, it makes a huge mess, and then you'll get like a lot of little burrs or whatever that kind of stick out around there. So I use the sander to just kind of knock all that stuff off. One thing I cannot emphasize enough on this, guys, when you're doing this, is you have to absolutely make sure that everything is lined up properly, that the left and the right side are, you know, your spacing and your gapping has to be 100% perfect, because once you take this tool or whatever tool you're using and you start to cut, there's no turning back. You're done. You've got to go forward from there. So you have to make sure that this is 100% accurate, level. Just really take your time and do it right. Don't rush on this, because these bodies are extremely expensive, and if you were to mess this thing up just because you got in a hurry or whatever, you know, to be blunt, you're going to be pissed, because you're going to have to go out and buy another one. It's not like you can take that part and just throw it back in there. What are you going to do, fill it with Bondo or something? I mean, that's just not an option. So take your time and do it right. And if you're going to use something like a RotoZip, when I did that one, these things spin at a really high RPM, so they cut really, really fast. So when you do it, you're going to just want to make sure that you have your blade depth set right, and you know, a nice steady hand. Take your time and go around it really, really slow. And like I said too, make sure you cut off this whole line, because if you do not cut the line off, you will not get the headlight to go in. There's some parts on the back of the headlight These are some internal connections and stuff right here. These will hit and they will not go in the hole. So you need to make sure you get every single bit of that black line from that template off, or else you're going to have to trim and open it up a little bit bigger. And that can be hard, especially with a tool like this that's cutting so fast. When you go to kind of open it up a little bit more, they want to go a little bit crooked, and you'll get like these dips and stuff like that. It's really hard to kind of do that. So do it once and do it right the first time, and you'll be a lot happier with the outcome of the job and everything like that, because these carts are expensive. You want it to be done, and you want it to be done right. And this is definitely something, I'm not trying to scare anybody away from doing this at home, because it's definitely something that the average person can do. But with anything that you want to turn out right, a little bit of precaution and a little bit of prevention will go a long way. And you know, the old saying, measure twice and cut once. You know, on this you're going to want to measure 4 or 5 times and cut once, because once you start cutting, there's no going back. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this other one out, and I'm going to try to see if I can get the GoPro set up so you can watch me cut, but I can't make any promises. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cut this. Like I said, you're going to want to do a plunge cut first with the saw. You can either start high, start low. I mean, that's all personal preference. But we're going to want to make sure we take our time, and we're going to want to cut this black line all the way out. So take your time, nice steady hand, and you're good to go. There you go. Another successful hole cut. One thing I would recommend, and that's kind of shame on me for not saying it before, is when you're setting this up, before you mount the template on here, what you could do is you could use some of that painter's tape, and you could put the painter's tape over this whole portion of the body, then mount your template, draw your line, and then when you cut it out, because like this saw has a little metal ring and it didn't leave any scratches, but you can see it left a little bit of dirt marks, which will be fine. But if you had a painted body or something like that, then you decide to do the light kit later, you don't want to leave any kind of fine scratches or damage the paint anyway. So that would probably be something that I would recommend that you do prior to cutting the hole, just to protect the surface, because these are they do have a nice paint job from the factory, and if you spend a lot of money and you get it custom painted, you know, then it's going to be a little bit less durable than this factory paint that they use, because I think this might actually be a gel coat. But yeah, so that would be something that I would recommend. So let's go ahead now, we're going to pop the lights in, and then we're going to move on to the back. So I went ahead and I snapped the lights in. as you can see, they fit really nice. I don't even have these things screwed in yet, and these things, they look really good. I'm really happy with the kit. The installation is very easy, straightforward, and this thing is starting to come along and look really good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm not going to secure the lights yet, simply because we've got to run the harness, and you can get at it from the back side, but I want to take my time. I want to get them plugged in. I want to test them, make sure that there's no issues with the lights, and then the last thing I'll do will be to actually secure them with the screws. Now, one thing I do want to mention is on the harness, like I said, these are color coded. Now the lights, obviously you can only put them on one way, you can't change them or anything like that, but the harness you could potentially wire incorrect. Not that it makes a difference, but I do want to point out that the right side are the red plugs. So red is right, white is left. And that will just be maybe for in the future if you were to do the turn signals or whatever it might be. You want to make sure you have those plugged in properly, so then that way you don't have something working in reverse or something like that. So when it comes to the actual installation of the harness, we're going to be using the red plugs are going to be for the right side, passenger side of the cart. White will be on the left, driver's side. So let's go ahead and move on to the back side. We'll go ahead and mount the template, and we will scribe our line on there and outline that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do some cutting on the back. Alright, so what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and mounted the headlights. I'm pretty confident that the lights are going to work, and the reason I did that is I wanted to secure these. I'm going to actually end up turning this into a 2-part or maybe even a 3-part video for the headlights. I've been out here a while, and I've got some family stuff that I'm going to be doing, so I wanted to get this one done so I could get it uploaded to you guys, so you could at least see the start to finish of the front, rather than prolonging the or setting back the upload for the video. So the fronts are all done. Everything's all lined up. The screws are all secured. I went ahead and I used a screw gun to put these in. These are, this is all plastic, so you don't want to just go blasting in with this. You will strip it out, and you got to be real careful when you're doing your install. So yeah, get this. It's a self-tapping screw, or a fine point screw, and I mean it zaps right in. But once you see that you're getting close to bottoming out onto the light fixture, stop, and then barely snug these things up with the regular screwdriver. Now, one thing I would like to suggest is when you do this for alignment purposes, when you get these lights in place, you're going to want to push down on the light to make sure it's down at the utmost, because this concave, or this curvature here lines up with the hole that you cut. So this pocket, this light will kind of sit down in that pocket. Put this screw in first, and then you can set your angle of the light, and that way you can get these even. And then what I did was I set this here, set this screw, and then I kind of pivoted it up here, and I got it aligned with the post here. That way these lights look the same, because you don't want to have this one turned up and that one turned down. I mean, it looked like a cross-eyed person or something like that. Nothing against cross-eyed people, but you know what I mean. You don't want the thing looking goofy. So yeah, that's what I did, was I screw on the bottom first on both, set your alignment, then screw, then you got the top one there, 4 screws total. Now another cool thing on these lights, which I didn't mention before, is these are adjustable. They're spring loaded, and you can actually pull these in and out, and you can set your height and stuff for the beam, which is pretty sweet. And then like I said, just boom, plug and play, and you're good to go. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end the video here, and then on the next one, part 2 of the light install will be the tail lights, brake lights for the Yamaha golf cart. And then with that one, then we'll jump onto the wiring portion of it. But yeah, like I always say, please like and subscribe, and remember to turn on your notifications. That way when I upload these new videos, you guys will be able to follow along with me as I work on this project and my other projects as well. So I can't say thank you enough to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it, and it's really fun watching the channel slowly but surely grow. And I really enjoy when people comment and they like and everything like that. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've always been a long-time fan of YouTube, so it's cool that I'm able to do this and actually kind of give back, and things that I've learned off of YouTube now I can share with other people that are maybe doing this. And the whole point of doing these videos is, especially like on a golf cart like this, don't go out and spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a golf cart that's already been done. You can buy a golf cart and you can do this yourself. Anybody can do this with a little bit of time and some tools and just a little bit of patience. You and a family member, a son, a daughter, your husband, wife, whatever. This is something that you guys can do yourself in your own garage, and you can learn, and then the reward is that much more, because anybody can go out and buy something. Not everybody can build something. So that's the cool thing about this, and that's why I enjoy doing this so much myself, because there's a lot more pride in the fact that this is something that you did on your own. So not to go off on a big tangent or whatever, but yeah, so please like, subscribe. Any suggestions or any things that you would like to see me do in the future to the cart or the Lightning or whatever, please comment down below. And remember to turn on the notifications. And if you're not a subscriber and you're watching these videos, subscribe, because it helps me get my videos out there. They're up higher on the search engine. And I mean, you're watching a video. If I helped you even one little bit, what do you got to lose? Subscribe to the channel. It will help me a lot, and all it is you clicking on a subscribe button. So please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. And if you know anybody that enjoys this stuff and you happen to randomly get on this video, share it with people that you know that do this stuff also. Share it with your friends and your family members, or someone that you think might enjoy this video or one of my other videos. I have a lot of videos and I'm constantly adding new videos. So look for the part 2 of the headlight taillight installation video coming out shortly, and talk to you soon. Bye.